Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Welcome to my channel. My name is Maaike and today I have a new video for you. And in this video, I will be talking to you about my makeup budget. I've seen a lot of people doing low buys this year and budgeting and all that. And I'm like, if you just stick to a budget to begin with, you don't have to do a low buy. You don't have to do a makeup budget. And so I just thought I could share my thoughts and how I sort of plan out my purchases and doing all that, because I definitely do not get everything in one go. I definitely sort of pace things out and set a bit of a budget. So I just thought I could talk a little bit about how I do that, and that's what this video is going to be about. So the first thing I wanted to point out is that what you can spend on makeup is of course going to be different for everybody. Just because person X can spend so much on makeup doesn't mean that you can. So I definitely think that you need to start by looking at your own personal finances, what might work out for you. You need to have a look at, once you've paid all of your bills at the end of the month, how much money you have left, and then you need to allocate part of that disposable income, I would say, for makeup purchases. That's the way I like to do it anyway. So I just have a little bit of an Excel sheet where I have like my income and all of my bills in there, and I use that to calculate what I might have left at the end of the month. I always have a really good ballpark figure that way, and that way I never overspend. Of course, I do overspend from time to time, but that only really happens when I'm like traveling. So maybe once or twice a year. And then I will always have a bit of a buffer, so it doesn't really hurt me or anything like that. And what I mean by disposable income or setting something aside for makeup, I mean that you also need to take into account like a little bit of money for, hey, if I want to go out with friends and have drinks, and if I want to go out to dinner, like you need to have a little bit of money, I think, to also do fun things. So don't put everything just into the makeup category, because that won't work either. So really try to look at your personal financial situation and figure out what works for you. My second tip would be that once you know how much you can spend, is to really start making a bit of a wish list for yourself. I hardly ever get products the moment they come out. Usually they don't come out at the moment I want to get them. Plus, because I work with this wish list system for some time now, what happens usually is that there are other things that I would like to get more that I want to prioritize over the latest and the greatest. So what I tend to do is I just kind of go through Instagram and YouTube, and that's what I use to pick up on products, like what's out there, what's new, what's cool, what is a brand that I would like to try. And then I start doing a little bit of research myself. I try to stay away from reviews, but I definitely sort of look into the product, how expensive it is, how much I would have to pay for shipping, and that sort of determines at what spot in my wish list it is going to be. So I would definitely say that my second tip would be to work with a list that you use to plan out your purchases. So tip number one, make sure you know how much you can spend. And number two is make a wish list. Now my third tip is, once you have that wish list down, I would definitely sort of use that as well to say like, okay, I want to buy this now, and then next month I want to get that. And it doesn't really matter if I wait a little bit longer, like further down the line to get that. So I definitely try to group my purchases, especially with online orders. Yes, I would love to get that RCMA no color powder, but the only way for me to get it is Beauty Bay. And it just would not be very beneficial for me right now to order just the one powder, because it would have to pay for shipping and it would have to pay for like other things perhaps. So I would much rather like put it a little lower on the list. And then as I come across other products that Beauty Bay sells, I can add them to that point. And then when I feel like, okay, I've got like a good amount to get me free shipping, for instance, that's when I place the order. So I'd rather, like, especially with online orders, I'd rather get a little bit more in one go and do it less frequently than just getting like one thing. If I want to get one thing, I'd rather just go to the store myself. And that actually brings me to my third tip. So once you have your wish list and you space it out by month, that means that you can start planning the purchases. So what I like to do is when I go out shopping, for instance, I like to shop for makeup, but I don't want to get everything in one go. So there will be something that I really want to go out and like swatch and look out for, etc., etc. But I tend to do most of my research online because I feel less tempted to make purchases than when I'm in a store. Like in a store with the pretty lighting and everything, like I'm just much more tempted to make a purchase. So I try to stay away from going to a physical store unless I'm like ready to go. So that's why, you know, in a couple of weeks time, the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette has come out and I'm very much interested, but I'd like to see it in person first. And it's supposed to be for sale. I've seen it online, so that means they should have it in store as well. So I want to go to the store and see it and see if they have it in stock there. I also happen to have a coupon right now, so that is only valid in store as well. So I'm hoping to be able to put the coupon towards the palette. So that brings me also to my final tip here, and that would be to, you know, wait around for sales as well. I definitely stocked up on my wish list and like bought quite a bit over the Black Friday sales because I knew that every single website would have a discount code. So I definitely sort of pick these kind of moments that when I do the same thing with clothes actually, that I really like getting a discount on stuff. If it's something I'm already looking to get, that's where the wish list again comes in. So you know you want to get it, so you're not tempted to buy it because it's a discount. You just choose to buy it at that moment because there's a discount. So for instance, I got most of my Juvia's Place palettes on discount like that because of like Black Friday sales or other sales that were going on at the time. I got most of the Anastasia palettes that way as well. So if you know that there's like a sale coming on, or if you want to sort of, especially if you're in the US and you know like Ulta 21 Days of Beauty and like the VIB sale, I would definitely hold off to buy like bigger purchases when you have these kind of sales going on. Over here we don't really get these like set moments. But yeah, you usually, like I'm a member at like every single big beauty store here, so you do get like some notifications in the mail sometimes, or you get an email, oh, there's so much percentage off. And if that happens to coincide with the moment where I'm planning to get the product anyway, I'd rather just wait for it to go on sale before I actually buy it for real. So those would be my 5 tips in terms of like makeup budgeting. I know it's a very quick and short and sweet video, but yeah, I just thought I would give you my 2 cents. Makeup is not something you need to go over in debt for. It's definitely not something that you need to go and buy. Be a smart consumer, make choices. You don't have to get everything just because everybody's raving about it, and definitely wait a little bit until you buy stuff. I know that with YouTube, a lot of, like what I hear a lot of YouTubers say is things like, oh, I need to get it now because the moment has passed. And I'm like, the moment hasn't passed unless you decide it has passed. Yes, the main hype will have died down. And of course, with views and all that, it just helps to do a video on a certain palette, for instance, when it has just come out. But you will never, if you're a regular consumer like myself and you don't get a whole lot of PR, you will never be able to beat the PR train. So if you're not on a PR list, you're not going to be able to get that palette very quickly. And since I'm in the Netherlands, a lot of releases come to us late anyways. So I never know when things are going to be out. Urban Decay has now finally started releasing things the minute they come out in the States as well. But there are palettes we don't get. There are like the Backtalk palette last year that took like 3 months to get here. So these are all things that, you know, depending on where you live, it may or may not be feasible to get something as well. So in a way, I feel very happy living in the Netherlands where makeup releases are not as hyped up and it sort of like trickles down. And it's like, oh, really? Because that Jeffree Star palette is just still in stock, at least the last time I checked. It was released and it went out of stock pretty much everywhere. But we could still get it from the official retailer. So it's one of those things where it sometimes pays off to live in a not so beauty obsessed country, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much how I go about it. That's how I space out my makeup purchases. And yeah, I hope that that could be useful to you, that please by no means feel that you need to get things. I think that that is the main message that I'm hoping to share with you today. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more by me. I make new videos 3 times a week on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. But starting May, I'm going to be doing 5 videos a week for just the month of May, just as a bit of an experiment, just to try and get some more content out there. So I'm going to be doing an everyday May. It's not really going to be every day, and it's not going to be like 5 days in LA. I still have to figure out what the schedule is going to be like, but still, I'm going to be posting 5 videos a week during the month of May. So stay tuned for that. I hope to see you in my next video. I hope you have a great day. Bye!